In 1979, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that DNA evidence was allowed to be presented in both state and appellate court cases. There are two cases before that that were important as well to bring up. The first case was known as Woodall versus the Commonwealth. Basically, the Commonwealth of Kentucky uh, was trying to prove that the defendant on trial was responsible for a serious crime. He was convicted at the trial level. However, when technology was available to examine the DNA evidence exculpated the defendant and he was released from prison. The other case that's important to acknowledge is Spencer versus the Commonwealth. Basically, the Commonwealth of West Virginia prosecutor's office used DNA evidence that the defendant left behind at a crime scene to accuse the defendant of the kidnapping, rape, and murder of two women. And basically, the outcome of the trial was the jury found the defendant guilty on all charges. And in the bifurcation process, the gentleman was up for a capital offense, which is punishable by death. And the jury used the DNA evidence and reviewed it, and he was sentenced to death based on the DNA evidence collected. Some people wonder what DNA uh, stands for, the acronym. It stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Uh, the essentially what it is, it's a person's genetic makeup, which is contains millions of genetic markers that are enwrapped in a double helix structure, and this gives a person's phenol and genotype. Genotype refers to a person's biological makeup, and a phenotype relates to a person's physical feature, such as their height, their race, their hair color, and eye color. Um, it's important to bring up that in regards to DNA, that no two people share the same DNA region pattern, with the exception of identical twins. The DNA itself is classified into four categories. I will only discuss two. The first major category is called mitochondrial or mtDNA. This particular DNA is inherited through the mother. It is used in bone and teeth and even shedded hair fragments. This DNA can also be used in cold cases and even mass disasters, and it can even be used in like small piece of evidence which may yield little biological information. Uh, a good thing about mitochondrial DNA, it can establish the paternity between brother and sister. The downside to DNA is that, especially in regards to the mitochondrial side, is that it is not able to establish a unique identification pattern, and so therefore the scientists are forced to use a second form of DNA testing, which is known as nDNA or nuclear DNA. This particular DNA is inherited through the father, and this DNA can pinpoint suspect by yielding genetic information.